Clark Jr., the USA Bronze League rank 3 player, and his group decided to attack Baron Williams, the top American player. The game would last until there was only one survivor. It was 4 against 1. Clark mocked Baron, calling him a coward for giving buffs from the back line, and claimed he would show the difference between them today. Baron interrupted Clark's speech, saying Clark talked too much for someone who couldn't approach without his minions. Baron challenged them all to come at him together. Baron was the number 1 player in the USA Bronze League. He vowed to burn them all down. As the players charged at him, Baron grabbed the first player's face and exploded him with his force and magic power, causing a chain reaction that killed the other 3 players behind him. More players came at Baron, but he laughed and challenged them all. He killed them like bugs using his force power, showing his unmatched strength and arrogance. Meanwhile, Baron noticed JiHan fighting another player and was surprised by his skill. Baron approached JiHan and asked if he was the undefeated JiHan. JiHan corrected him, saying he was JiHan, not JiHan. Baron laughed, mocking JiHan by mispronouncing his name again, then threw his force power at him, sending JiHan flying. Surprised, Baron was about to speak when JiHan used his lightning thunder step to quickly attack him. Baron dodged and flew into the air, readying his force power. JiHan jumped up and attacked again, but Baron dodged all his attacks and unleashed a powerful force blast at JiHan, knocking him to his knees. Other players watched in fear as Baron and JiHan fought. Baron used his force power to cover the entire arena, killing all the other players. The area was filled with fire and force, and Baron laughed loudly. But then, he was shocked to see lightning coming from JiHan, who was erasing all of Baron's force power with his Phoenix Spear using the 1,000-soldier sweep technique. Thanks to Baron's force power, JiHan was able to get easy kills with his wide-area spear swings, achieving a pentakill and taking first place with 20 kills. Baron was astonished that JiHan had survived his powerful attack. He combined fire and force, but they couldn't reach JiHan, who was also using force to cover himself. Baron couldn't believe it, as he thought force was a power only he could use thanks to his 2 status windows. JiHan mocked Baron, saying force wasn't exclusive to him and calling him pathetic and unskilled. Furious, Baron exploded his force power at JiHan and attacked him, calling JiHan a bug and accusing him of cheap imitation. He unleashed his full power on JiHan. JiHan, however, had a plan. Last night at the playground, while checking his status window, he had found a crystal fragment among his items. He decided to use this crystal fragment against Baron. In the current game arena, Baron is flying in the air, using his force and firepower against JiHan. But JiHan has a secret weapon, a crystal fragment that boosts his stats by 50%. JiHan is ready to crush Baron. Back in the day, Baron was a coward. He was thin, shy, and afraid of fighting. People said his gift was wasted on him. Despite having 2 status windows and 2 classes, Baron chose support and mage to stay back and help others. Everything changed when he obtained force. With his overwhelming magic power, he began to dominate opponents. Many promising players crumbled before him, and everyone who lost to Baron knew about his 2 trump cards. The first was Fire Wave, a huge tsunami of fire that wiped out everyone in front of him. No one had survived it before, until now. JiHan destroyed Baron's Fire Wave with his Phoenix Spear Strike. Baron was shocked by JiHan's attack. JiHan mocked Baron, saying his attack looked impressive but was hollow inside. JiHan then jumped up and struck Baron, knocking him to the ground. As Baron lay on the ground, he was surprised that JiHan seemed to know everything about him. JiHan said Baron reminded him of someone. Even though Baron tried to act confident, JiHan knew he had an inferiority complex. Baron hated being looked down on, so he trained his body and made his skills look fancier. But JiHan told him that without true essence, it was all pointless. Baron didn't like Jihan's arrogant attitude, and Jihan just smiled. Jihan used his lightning thunder step to attack Baron, but Baron countered with his secret lightning technique, sending Jihan flying back even though he tried to block with his spear. Baron's second trump card, lightning, condensed his power to pierce a target. It relied on brute strength, perfect for Baron. Now, Baron seemed to have the advantage. It was hard to believe he was perfectly fine after Jihan's attack. Jihan blocked the lightning strike with his spear. Baron was impressed by Jihan's adaptability. He prepared to use lightning again, this time with everything he had. Other players watched in awe, thinking Jihan couldn't defeat Baron and would die. But Jihan was confident he would win because the Shadow Queen was watching. She only focused on the winner, and her eyes were on him. Jihan took his stance, ready to strike with his spear. Baron was surprised to see Jihan stand. Before Baron could use his lightning, Jihan struck with his spear, killing Baron. Baron wasn't Jihan's true target. Jihan aimed for something grander, the Shadow Queen. His spear broke through the barrier, marking the first time in BattleNet history that the Colosseum's barrier was destroyed.